That's the management of Havells getting ready to address the media in just a bit. Remember, it is the biggest news story actually of the day when they decided to hive off their stake in Sylvania. Now, remember, this is a deal that has been structured in two phases. It has an equity value of about 1,000 odd crores, which translates to about 150 million pounds.
Today we had a board meeting in Shanghai in which most of the board members were present. And we accepted Havells Holding Limited's agreement to enter into a definitive agreement with Shanghai Philo Acoustics Limited to divest 80% stake in Havell Sylvania Malta BV, subject to shareholders and related approvals. Philo is a leading lighting company of China and listed on the Shanghai Stock Exchange, with a market cap of euro 1.8 billion dollars, 1.8 billion euros. Havels Holding Limited, Isle of Man, would continue to hold remaining 20% stake with exit options in the next 3 to 5 years. The equity value for 100% stake is euro 186 million against the current cumulative investment of rupees 980 crores. The value of 80% to be received by Havells in the enterprise. Both companies would establish a strategic group to explore and evaluate business opportunities in India in the field of IoT and smart cities. This is my side. I would be happy to take your questions from here on.
Mr. Gupta, hi, this is Sumit from ET now. I would like to know what is going to be the use of the money which you are going to get after selling the stake?
Well, Havells has always been looking at opportunities to expand its product portfolio, both in the domestic market and as well as international markets. I think that will continue to be a foray for us. We have been a company which has always been looking at acquisitions. We have been acquiring companies and also strategically and turning around certain not very good performing companies. So we've had a great success in turning around companies and acquiring companies and making that a part of Havells. And I think with this money available, definitely we would be having more opportunities to expand our organic as well as inorganic opportunities.
Also, as we understand, you have not sold the operations of your Thailand, US, Brazil and Chile. What are the margins and revenue are these companies generating? Can you tell us about that?
Well, these are the underperforming countries which have not performed very well in the last couple of years, and hence they are now on the path of profitability. Havells management is quite confident that with the ongoing performance as well as the performance in the next year, these countries would also be transferred to the Philo group because they would own the brand of Sylvania in these countries at an appropriate time in the next 12 months.
And what is the point of holding this 20% stake? You still not sold 20% stake. What is the point of this, the holding back this 20% stake?
Well, I think Philo is a very strategic player in the lighting industry in the Chinese markets, as well as now they will have a global footprint. This is also the company which Havells has always had a joint venture for the last 5 years, a 50-50 manufacturing JV in China. And I think our relationship with this company is very strong. We would like to capitalize on this stake so that we remain as strategic partners, not only to evaluate opportunities in the lighting industry, but also expand opportunities. As I have already said, that we've signed a strategic cooperation agreement with the parent company of Philo so that we can identify more opportunities for growth in India and the Chinese markets.
Again, Sumit from ET now. I would like to know what are the plans for the domestic market so far? Anything you can put light on?
Well, I would say that the organic opportunities in Havels continue to be at a very strong footing. We've had very good market shares in all the product categories that we are in. We'll continue to look at expanding organically in the country, but we'll also look at strategic options to acquire more brands or distribution network or even product categories which can fit very well into the existing portfolio of Havels.
So one last question from ET Now side. How much have you invested in Sylvania so far?
Well, as I've already said, the total investment till now is about 980 crores, which is close to about 140 million euros. This has been the investment over the last 8 years, including the cost of acquisition. Thank you.
Hello, sir. This is Kumar Rahul from PTI. So you just said like you will spend the money to expand your operations in India. So what are the new segments in which Havells will foray in?
Well, I think I would say it is quite early to be, commenting upon that. Definitely, Havells' balance sheet would get strengthened with, cash available. Already, Havells didn't have any debt on the balance sheet. With this divestment, there will be more cash available, which will open up more and more opportunities. It's only over a period of time we'll be looking at, in a deeper way to look at more opportunities. So I would say the field is quite open as yet.
And what kind of opportunity, what kind of synergy you are looking with the Chinese company in India?
Well, as I've already said, the Inessa Group is a company which is very big in projects. They take lighting projects for certain cities to sort of a BOT basis. They also have, a working concept for smart cities. And I think this is something which we will evaluate with them over the next few months to see how we can participate in the ongoing expansion of smart cities in India.
Can I ask a question? Mr. Rai, one more question from ET Now side. How will your guidance change post this stake in Sylvania being sold?
Well, I don't think it affects the standalone business in any fashion. The standalone business continues to be on a strong footing, and there will be no change of guidance from that point of view.
Hi, Shreya from Business Standard this side. You mentioned about more investment in the Indian market and also you will look out for other markets. I wanted to understand how do you look at the demand in the Indian market? Has there been an uptick in the past 3 years or it's been pretty much a stagnant? And if you're looking at other markets, which are the emerging markets that you look at?
Well, I think in the last couple of years there has been a slowdown in the Indian market as well in terms of growth because of the sluggishness of the overall demand scenario in India. I think it's very early to say whether we can see an uptake, but we are quite confident from now on we will be definitely seeing growth in the Indian domestic sector as well, both in the economy as well as in the performance of the company as well. I think our main focus would remain on India, but we'll continue to look at emerging opportunities in the Middle East and the African markets and the Southeast Asian markets as well.
And is the electrical equipment sector specifically undergoing any sort of consolidation, and you would look at more mergers or acquisition in the Indian market specifically?
I wouldn't specifically say it is undergoing a consolidation, but there would always be opportunities available. There have been opportunities in the past also, and we've looked at them, and some of them we've participated in, and there will be more opportunities in the future as well.
You mentioned a smart city. What kind of opportunity for you as a company does it present?
Well, I think Havels has always been focused on energy efficiency products, products which and a lot of focus on the electronic communication between the products as well. So there is a lot of development going on within Havels also, but we will also be looking at possibilities of joining hands with Inessa to see, whether we can have a strategic cooperation on taking projects in smart cities as well, which will include our products as well as their products going forward.
Thank you.
Again, a question, Sumit from ET now. Can shareholders expect a dividend from the funds coming in?
Well, it is, I think it is for the board to decide over the next few months. As we've always said, we've continued to be, an acquisitive oriented company. Both organically, we try to grow the business very fast, as well as inorganically. So it will depend upon the opportunities available, the best utilization of the funds would be to deploy it in the most productive fashion. So we'll continue to look at opportunities. It's too early to say whether there will be a dividend payout or not.
And for the rest 20% stake, will you sell it to some other party if there is interest shown by some other party?
No, there is no such understanding like that.
Maybe in case any channel who's connected to this bridge wants to ask questions, can we open that channel? Maybe we can start with NDTV or Bloomberg. Bloomberg? Okay, so Bloomberg I think is open. आपके
All right, so that's the management of Havells. The stock has come off its high point, but nevertheless still holding with gains of about 7.5%. So 80% stake sale in Sylvania right now, the consideration being 1,070 odd crores. They will retain 20% in that brand to try and maximize their reach into the Chinese market, and also try and develop on the tie-up that they have with Shanghai Filo, which is the buyer in this case, and try and